प्रेम से समापति महादेव की जय, वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय। Let us first stand as we are about to begin our beautiful aarti to the Divine Mother Shri Adi Shakti Durga Mata. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha, Om Shri Saraswatye Namaha, Om Shri Gurubhyo Namo Namaha, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya। निषिदिना तुमको ध्यावत हरि ब्रह्मा शिव जी, निषिदिना तुमको ध्यावत हरि ब्रह्मा शिव जी। जय अम्बे गौरी मैया, जय श्यामा गौरी, जय अम्बे गौरी मैया, जय श्यामा गौरी, जय अम्बे गौरी मैया, जय श्यामा गौरी। जय अम्बे गौरी मैया, जय श्यामा गौरी। मांग सिंदूर विराजत को मृद मद को, जय हो। मांग सिंदूर विराजत को मृद मद को, उज्ज्वल से नैना चंद्र बदननी को। जय अम्बे गौरी मैया, जय श्यामा गौरी हो मैया। जय अम्बे गौरी मैया, जय श्यामा गौरी। जय अम्बे। कनक समान कलेवर रक्तांबर राजे, कनक समान कलेवर रक्तांबर राजे। रक्त पुष्प जलमाला दंताहार साजे। जय अम्बे गौरी मैया, जय श्यामा गौरी हो मैया। जय अम्बे गौरी मैया, जय श्यामा गौरी। ओम दुम दुर्गाय नमः। के हरि वाहन राजत करक परधारी। के हरि वाहन राजत करक परधारी। सुर नर मुनि जन सेवत इनके दुखहारी। जय अम्बे गौरी मैया, जय श्यामा गौरी हो मैया। जय अम्बे गौरी मैया, जय श्यामा गौरी। ब्रह्माणी रुद्राणी तुम कमला रानी। ब्रह्माणी रुद्राणी तुम कमला रानी। आगम निगम पतानी तुम शिव पतरानी। जय अम्बे गौरी मैया, जय श्यामा गौरी। जय अम्बे गौरी मैया, devotions to Durga Mata. चौसत युगनी गावत नृत्य करत भैरो चौसत युगनी गावत नृत्य करत भैरो बाजत मृदंगार बाजत के डमरू जय अम्बे गौरी मैया जय श्यामा गौरी हो मैया जय अम्बे गौरी मैया जय श्यामा गौरी अम्बा जय जय अम्बा 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 जय जय अम्बा 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 जय जगदम्बा। आज शक्ति दुर्गा माता की जय। Let us all take our seats. As we begin this beautiful night in devotion and in prayer to that universal Lord, we are about to adore the beautiful Mother in her wonderful forms and manifestations. And as we praise her name, we say, Lord, everything happens by your grace, by your mercy, your compassion. We say, Swagatam, Namaskar karta hu to all those who sacrificed this divine moment to receive darshan, to once more intake the Atma Gyan, the knowledge of our scripture. May the blessings of Devi Mata touch your lives. At this time, friends, we are about to begin with our invocation mantras. Let us all sit upright, let us close our eyes, and wherever we are in the world, taking a moment to join in and to receive darshan in this Nauraatri period, we pay adorations to Jagadamba Mata as we begin with Omkar. वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देवा सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा या देवी सर्वभूतेषु दुर्गारूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः या देवी सर्वभूतेषु लक्ष्मीरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः या देवी सर्वभूतेषु सरस्वती रूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः नागेन्द्रहाराय त्रिलोचनाय भस्मांगरागाय महेश्वराय नित्याय शुद्धाय दिगंबराय तस्मै नकाराय नमः शिवाय। ओम नमः शिवाय। ओम नमः शिवाय। ओम नमः शिवाय। हरे कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा हरे रामा राम राम हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे हरे। ओम दुम दुर्गाय नमः। ओम दुम दुर्गाय नमः। ओम दुम दुर्गाय नमः। हे मां दुर्गा 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 हे मां दुर्गा। जयन्ते मंगला काले भद्रकाले कपालिनी दुर्गा क्षमा शिवदात्रे स्वाहा सदा नमोस्तुते। रूपं देहि जायं देहि यशो देहि जशो जहि। रूपं देहि जायं देहि यशो देहि जशो जहि। ओम दुम दुर्गाय नमः। ओम दुम दुर्गाय नमः। ओम दुम दुर्गाय नमः। श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मन मुकुर सुधारि। वरना रघुवर विमल जसु जो दायक फलचारि। बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरौ पावन कुमार। बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेश विकार। बजलो जी हनुमान बजलो जी हनुमान। बजलो जी हनुमान। भजलो जे Hanuman. We join now beautiful 40 verses of the Shri Hanuman Chalisa. जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर, जय कपीश तिहु लोक उजागर। राम दूत अतुलित बल धामा, अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा। महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी, कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी। कंचन वरन विराज सुवेशा, कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा। हाथ वज्र और ध्वजा विराजै, कांधे मूंज जनेऊ साजै। शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन, तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन। विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर, राम काज करिबे को आतुर। प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया, राम लखन सीता मन बसिया। भजलो जे हनुमान, भजलो जे हनुमान, भजलो जे हनुमान, भजलो जे। रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा, विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा। भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे, रामचंद्र के काज सवारे। लाए सजीवन लखन जियाए, श्री रघुवीर हर्षि उर लाए। रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई, तुम मम प्रिय भरतहि सम भाई। सहस वदन तुम रोज सगावे, पटे कंठ लगावै। सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा, नारद शारद सहित अहीस। यम कुबेर दिक्पाल जहाते, कवि कोविद कहि सके कहाते। तुम पुकार सुग्रीव ही कीन्हा, राम मिलाय राजपर दीन्हा। भजलो जे हनुमान, भजलो जे हनुमान, हनुमान, भजलो जे हनुमान। विभीषण माना, लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जान। सहस्र योजन पर भानु, लील्योताहि मधुर फल दानु। प्रभु मौद्रिका मिलि मुख माहि, जल दिलांगे गए अचरज नाहि। दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते, सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हारे देते। राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे, होत न आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे। सब सुकल है तुम्हारी शरण, तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना। आपन तेज समारो आपै, तेनहु लोक हांकते गावै। भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवै, महावीर जब नाम सुनावै। भजलो जे हनुमान, भजलो जे हनुमान, भजलो जे हनुमान, भजलो जे हनुमान। रोग हरै सब पीरा, जपत निरंतर हनुमत वीरा। संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावै, मरकम वचन ध्यान जो लावै। सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा, जिनके काज सकल तुम साजा। और मनोरथ जो कोई लावै, सोई अमित जीवन फल पावै। चारों युग परताप तुम्हारा, है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियार। साधु संत के तुम रखवारे, असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे। अष्ट सिद्धि नव निधि के दाता, असबर दीन जानकी माता। राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा, सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा। भजलो जय हनुमान, भजलो जय हनुमान, भजलो जय हनुमान, भजलो जय। ओम श्री हनुमते नमः। तुमरे भजन राम को पावै, जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावै। अंत काल रघुबरपुर जाई, जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई। और देवता चित्त न धरहि, हनुमत से सर्व सुख करहि। संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा, जो सुमिरै हनुमत बलबीरा। जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई। कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाय, जो शत बार पाठ कर कोई। तुदहि बंदी महासुख होय, जो यह पर हनुमान चालीसा। होय सिद्धि साखी गौरी, तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा। ये जयनाथ हृदय महाडेरा, भजलो जय हनुमान, 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 भजलो जय हनुमान। पवन तनय संकट हरण, मंगल मूर्ति रूप। राम लखन सीता सहित, हृदय बसो सुरभूप। पवन सुत हनुमान की जय, बजरंगबली की जय। On this divine night, we have come together once more to glorify a beautiful name, a form of Adi Shakti Devi Mata. As you would have been observing, every night there was a different form. Like we say, unlike all the regular forms that we hear, there are many different forms of the Devi, and tonight once more we will join in yet a beautiful form of Adi Shakti. Despite the forms of Durga Ma, Lakshmi, Saraswati Mata, there's a very prominent deity in India today. In order to see her form, you must climb up a mountain. You must climb up the mountain and travel for 16 hours. Who we speak about? It is said many, many years ago, just like today, just like in the modern day and the modern time. It says whenever there is unrighteousness in the world, the gods will come. Yada yada hi dharmasya. Puranapi maranam, puranapi jananam, puranapi jarare jatare ashayanam. Scriptures say. Again and again, we will come in the world and we will leave. We will take birth, we will die, we will come back. That which is called reincarnation will take place again and again until we get it right. But scripture says that while many people will come and they will leave, there will be a time whenever the world needs righteousness, the Devis and the Devatas will remanifest. And they too will come down. and they will take their divine form, and they will show the world strength, and they will show the world power. Many of us, we live in society and we are confused about what is right and what is wrong. So we act according to our inner feeling and how we think and what we think is right. And we try to do the best of our ability, but everybody is different in everybody's eye. Because sometimes what I might do and think is right for me, you might think I'm doing something wrong. And what you might think somebody else is doing right, they might think it's wrong. Or what they're doing and what they believe in their heart and their mind is right, might be wrong for somebody else as well. It is said whenever there's unrighteousness in the world, in the beautiful ages of Satyuga, in the first age, it is said the Lord had taken the avatar and he came down as the Varaha form. He took the form of a boar and he saved the earth when there was drought or when there was a flooding. It is said in the age of Treta Yuga, the divine Lord took an incarnation, and when the Lord saw that there was destruction by Ravana and the evil people, he decided to come in the form of Bhagwan Shri Ramachandra. It is said in the age of Dwapar Yuga, where there was unrighteousness and king comes to destroy the people, the Lord took an incarnation and he came in the form of Shri Krishna. And in this age, there's one form that is yet to come. And he's been described as what? As the Kalki avatar. So we are in the age of Kali Yuga, where the Kalki avatar has been prescribed to come. Now listen to how beautiful our scripture is now. Anybody here ever gone to India? Yeah? You've been to India? Have you ever traveled the 16 hours to climb up the mountain? You did? Nice. Do you know the significance of Devi Mata? I'll tell you how beautiful scriptures play with each other to give us the energy. We are diving into the golden pages of the 9 forms of Devi Mata, the goddess in Trimurti form, and her name travels the world as a different name. It says today, when Devi Mata in the skies and in the heavens as Adi Shakti saw that there was unrighteousness on the earth, she decided to come down in the earth as a little girl. She came down in the form of a child, average the age of 3 years. She didn't take birth from a womb and become born in this world. She manifested at the age of 3 years old. And manifesting at the age of 3, she came down to show the world righteousness. So she lived everywhere. She traveled everywhere. And wherever she traveled, she performed a miracle. Wherever she traveled, she did something good. Wherever people found her, she said something that uplifted them, or she did something that was remarkable. She did something to once more uplift the people that she would have come in contact with. And it says when we meet people, we must leave something behind that allows them to think good of us. When we meet people and when we leave their company, we must allow them to say, no, that's a good person. That's a divine person. That is somebody we can keep in contact with because we meet a good soul and a good personality. Don't meet people and when you leave, they don't want to see you again. Don't meet people and when you leave them, they have something bad to say. But leave something that is divine. Your nature, your character. Your character is your life. Baba Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai says that a person without a character is like a person without ornaments. A person without a character is a person without having on any clothes or decking themselves. It is said the women will dress themselves with the nice earrings and they will put on the nice chains and everything, the surabindi and everything that allows them to deck themselves. But a woman without a character is like a woman without clothes. A man without a character is a man without the shawl and without the chadar and without all the ornaments as well that he will decorate with the rings and the chain and everything else. The character of an individual is everything that we live for because without a character we are nothing. That is why in Ramkshetra Manas, Shri Ramachandra said to the world, today I rather walk into the forest for 14 years and preserve the name and the word of my father because his word is his character. His word is his personality and without his word he is nothing at all. We too must stand for our word. When we give people our word, we must keep up our words. When we tell somebody we're about to do something, we must keep our words. I'm sure many times in the Sunday morning service here in the Mandir, many people come and they say, no, don't worry, you will see me Sunday. I give you my word, I'll see you Sunday. And all of a sudden, you never see them. And some story comes from it. When you give your word for something, you do it. Because your word is your character. And your character is your life. Today, friends, you know, when I speak about word, it is throughout this beautiful state, this place of Florida where many people, they couldn't come out today. And I know there are many people who are on the live and they're looking on. And there are many people who couldn't come out today. And we will say a prayer for them in a few moments. But while there are many people who couldn't come out today, there are the few who are here. I don't know if everybody talked to everybody who's sitting here right now. But there was one man I wanted to pay a special attention to. Many people live right or wrong, and maybe out of situations he couldn't be here. But one man came all the way from New York, just for about 3 days, and he is here. Jai Bhagwan. Let me give you all a round of applause for that, Bhaiya. And you are here tonight, and like we say, many are called and few are chosen. You're here to receive that little energy, that darshan. And your word was your word. You said you're going to be here. And you said to me even last night, I'm going to be here no matter what. And you are here. And many of us, out of situations, maybe we are here, maybe we can't, maybe you're just tuned in. But we will still share the energy, the love in your direction. And wherever you are, we are sending blessings of Devi Mata. But Katha says, your word should be your life. Wherever this 3-year-old traveled, she went everywhere, and everybody she came in contact with, she left a miracle behind. So everybody spoke about her. It comes in our scripture now. She sits beautifully. She sits by herself, and she wants more than what it is. She travels everywhere and she meets all the good people. She's becoming famous for her power. She's becoming famous for the miracle that she spreads. But after some time, she decides now, she speaks to the skies and the heavens, and she says, I want permission now. Because at this time, I'm living on the earth, but I want proper sustenance. I want to be sustained properly. The Lord, who is the creator, is called Lord Brahma. Lord Vishnu is the sustainer. And the destroyer is Mahadev. And she wants to be sustained. While you're alive, when you want the good health and the strength and the sustenance, who do you pray to? Bhagwan Shri Vishnu, Lord Krishna. She has taken an avatar. Adi Shakti has taken an avatar. Devi Durga has taken an avatar. As a 3-year-old, she's come down to the earth. And she says, you know what? I want to feel the presence of Lord Vishnu's incarnation. So the Katha says at this time, it is in the age of Treta Yuga. And who's in that age? Sri Ramachandra. And she says, I want to meet Sri Ramachandra. I will sit and pray as much as I can. I will do whatever it takes. But I want to meet the Lord, Sri Ram. And as a 3-year-old, she left the villages. She traveled the mountains. She traveled the valleys. And she goes onto the shore of the ocean. And she sits there on a rock in the shore. And she decides to meditate. And who will she pray to? We sing tonight to that beautiful Lord, Shri Govinda. Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murari He Nata Narayana Vasudeva He Nata Narayana Vasudeva He Nata Narayana Vasudeva. We sing with love. She sits there on the rock and something is about to happen. Listen beautifully. Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murari He Nata Narayana Vasudeva. Narayana Vasudeva He Nata Narayana Vasudeva He Nata Narayana Vasudeva. Shri Krishna, oh Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murari He Nata Narayana Vasudeva. So this time, I want everybody who's sitting here, take a moment to close your eyes, sit upright. And today we are praying to pray for everybody. Sometimes people pray, but sometimes they forget to pray. Sometimes only when they are caught in miseries and problems and distress, then they remember God. And today, while we are sitting in this beautiful state, to all those who have come to this beautiful mandir, and to those who are part of our yajna, we are praying for the devotees of Florida in itself. To all those who are withstanding the storm, the hurricanes, the tornado, we are praying to Bhagwan Shri Krishna, Lord Vishnu, the sustainer of the world, to protect us, to guide us, to lead us on the right path. You know what is to be, my Lord. And as we have come together to glorify your name, to all the devotees who are tuned in from every part of the world, and especially to those who are tuned in Florida, to those who are tuned in Orlando and Tampa, Fort Myers, to those who are part of Fort Lauderdale, and to those who are even here in Port St. Lucie, whatever you're going through in Sarasota, we take a moment to say a special prayer for all those in that need. And we pray to Shri Krishna and we say, Lord, everything by your will, by your mercy and your compassion. And we pray, Shri Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Om Dum Durgaya Namaha. He Nath Narayana Vasudeva, He Nath Narayana Vasudeva, He Nath Narayana Vasudeva, He Nath Narayana Vasudeva, Shri Krishna, oh Shri Krishna Govinda, Hare Murari, He Nath Narayana Vasudeva, He Nath Narayana Vasudeva, He Nath Narayana Vasudeva, Sriman Narayana Narayana Narayana, 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 Lakshmi Narayana Narayana Narayana, Lakshmi Narayana Narayana Narayana, Lakshmi Narayana Narayana Narayana, Lakshmi Narayana Narayana Narayana. Shri Krishna Govinda, Hare Murari, He Nath Narayana Vasudeva, He Nath Narayana Vasudeva, He Nath Narayana Vasudeva. It is said, at the age of 3 years, this wonderful young girl, she went and she sat down at the banks of the ocean. It is in Treta Yuga. She sat there and she started to do meditation. Who is she meditating upon? Mahavishnu, Lord Vishnu. And she's chanting in his name. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. And she chanted for Bhagwan Shri Krishna, Lord Vishnu. And you know what? It was in that time now. Mahavir Swami had returned with his news. The Lord Bajrangabali had returned from finding Sita Mata. The Lord landed back on the earth of Bharat Desh, and he had gone to find Bhagwan Shri Ram. The entire army had come. It is said all the bandars, all the vanaras, the bears and the monkeys had come together. And while they had come, Bhagwan Shri Ramachandra and Lakshmana, they came. The Lord was about to go pray to the ocean to find a way to build a bridge. And while he was about to find that way, he said to his brother Lakshmana, Bhaiya, we will take a moment and we'll gather our energy. But before we do pray to the God of the ocean, He says, I will take a moment to receive and to regain my confidence. And the Lord stepped away from everybody. And when he walked on the side, he decided to go behind all the monkeys and bears, all the bears and monkeys looking at the ocean. Mahavir Swami is standing there, Jamwant is standing there, Sugriv, Nal, Neel, and all those are standing on the banks of the ocean. And while they're waiting and Lakshmana stands there, the Lord had gone one side. He wanted a moment to just give that teardrop and the grief, because he's about to find Sita Devi. And when he walked into the forested path, not far away, he saw this 3-year-old sitting there in meditation. He saw her in prayer and he looked at her at that point and he says, Hare, yaha, kaun ho tum? And she heard the voice of the Lord and she opened her eyes. And when she looked in front of her, it is said, shining like the suns of the universe, shining like more than one sunlight. The Lord is radiating in energy. And she looks at him and she puts her hands together and she says, Prabhu, you have come. I have been chanting Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, begging to see your form, and today you have come. Prabhu, I ask you today and I beg of you today, I have fallen in love with your form and your energy. Please take me with you. Keep me with you. Wherever you go, wherever you have to travel, keep me with you, please. And the Lord looked at her and he says, today I have a responsibility. You can't just come with me. I'm about to wage war. I'm about to fight an evil one. And you're so small. And she says, Prabhu, can't you see who I am in reality? I've come in the world to stand on your side and you will be protected. I give you my word that you'll be protected. Before you fight that war and before you embark on that journey, just pray to me and remember who I am. Didn't you remember the Lord prayed to her? And he looked at her and he says, you know what? Your energy is powerful, but you're small yet in this world, in this physical form. He says, listen, I'll give you my word to this. I have to fight this war. I will go and I will fight this war. And at some point I will return. And if when you look at me, you can realize that I am the same Lord that is standing before you, then I give you my word that you will go back with me to my kingdom. And she says to him, well, with the love that I have for you, I will never forget who you really are. So I'm ready for it. And the Lord paid his pranams to her. He put his hands together and paying respects to Adi Shakti Jagadamba Mata, he left and he went back to the front of the ocean, and the entire Ramayana is about to take its course. Ramayana is about to take its course now, and the Lord goes into Lanka and he fights his war, and after fighting he wins and receives victory. And upon victory, it is said days have passed, many days have passed, and the Lord will return, because he will return with none other than Sita Mata, his Dulahin, and he will head back now to Ayodhya. It is said when the battle had completed, Bhagwan Shri Ramachandra, he had mounted himself onto the Viman, the Pushpaka Viman, the vehicle of Ravana. And he was about to head back now. But as he lifted into the air and he crossed the ocean and he's about to go back to Bharadesh, he asked now Vibhishan, who was there and then, to lower the entire Viman and allow it to land to the earth. I have one thing that I needed to do. And he landed right there. Shri Ram Jai Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama, Shri Ram Jai Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama. Boliye everybody. Shri Ram Jai Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama, Shri Rama Jai Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama. And the Lord came down from the Viman and he walked into the forest. And before he would approach her, he changed his form. And he decided to transform himself into somebody looking like a monk, like a sadhu, like a maharishi. And he walked up to the spot and he saw her still there sitting in meditation. And he walked up to her and he says, Are Devi, Jai Narayan. And she opened her eyes for a second and she looked and she says, Pranams, Gurudev. And the Lord looked at her. And he says, Devi, what are you doing here? She says, I'm waiting for that one that is called Sri Ramachandra to come back to me. He has gone to wage a war and I'm waiting for him. And the Lord, in the form of a sadhu, He looked at her and he says, Devi, well, don't worry, your Lord will come and bless you. And he's about to turn away and he's about to walk away. And he says to her, is there anything you want before I leave? She says, Gurudev, I just need your darshan. As a guru, you have the ability to bless me. So just bless me and I'll be fine. And as he's about to turn away, he says, I told you the day that I come back, if you recognize me, I will take you with me. But today you've forgotten who I am. You have only seen me in the form of a guru, and you didn't see beyond the physical form. And at that moment, she felt hurt and she says, wait a minute, Prabhu, is it really you? And he had to change back his form to show her. And she started to cry. And she says, Prabhu, please listen to my prayer. I waited so much and I waited so long that I believe the Maya of the world didn't allow me to recognize you. Sometimes we are sitting in the world and we don't recognize the reality of what is happening in front of us because we are too caught up in the Maya. We are too caught up in illusions. We are too caught up in what is happening right in front of us, and we are not seeing the bigger picture of life. We are not seeing the bigger picture of the world, and we sometimes need to stop and see the bigger picture. Shri Rama Jai Rama Jaya Jaya Rama Shri Rama Jai Rama Jaya Jaya Rama Oh Shri Rama Jai Rama Jaya Jaya Rama Shri Rama Jai Rama Jaya Jaya Rama Oh Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki. She says, Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Gurur Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. And in the age of Treta Yuga, when the Lord looked at her, she starts to cry and she says, I didn't recognize you. Please forgive me. One of the most popular examples I always give people. I give it many a times to allow people to know. We see what is in front of us and we don't see the reality of life and the world. We are naive to the world. And the best example I give is this. I see Dad in front here and I will ask you, what do you see? What do you see? A bell. Mommy, what do you see? A bell. To those who've seen my messages, you're supposed to know. What do you see? Dad, what do you see? What do you see? You see the bell. Remember this. I always tell devotees, you will always see what is dazzling in front of you. I didn't ask you what I have in my hand. I asked you, what do you see? You didn't see me right here? You didn't see this mic here? You didn't see the harmonium here? You saw this, you know why? Because it makes a noise. And because I'm flashing it in front of you and I'm asking you, what do you see? And that is the same thing with life. We see what is dazzling in front of us and what is making the noise in front of us. But the bigger picture is always there. And we are naive to see what is real. And that is what allows us to be caught up in the world. When she saw the body of a guru, she saw that what was dazzling in front of her. But what was inside that body? What was real? Bhagwan Shri Ram. And the Lord turned away and He says to her, you have failed today. And she begs and she says, Prabhu, please, I love your form. And He says, you know what? I will acknowledge one thing. You were praying with an honest heart. And that cannot go in vain. So I'll give you my word. My word is this. I will come back in the world one day. Because my responsibility now is Sita Devi. But I will come back one day and I will come back in the age of Kali Yuga. And I will come back in that form of the Kalki avatar. And when I come back then, I will come and visit you first. But for now, don't stay on the banks of the ocean. Find a spot and you don't worry, I will find you there. It is said Bhagwan Sri Ramachandra, he called a bunch of the Vanas and the monkeys. And he said to them, go with her and protect her. And ensure that the day that I come, I will greet you all once more. And I will bless her in my presence. It is said this Devi, she got up at the age of 3 and she left the spot that she was sitting on. She paid her respects. And with all the monkeys, she climbed up to the top of one of the higher peaks of the mountains. And she sat there. And when she sat there, she sat in a meditative mode, and it is said she manifested 3 rocks in front of her, and she invoked her energy of Durga Mata, Lakshmi Mata, and Saraswati Mata. And she sat there waiting for the Lord. And while she sat there, all the Vanaras and the monkeys, they started to surround the place. And she sat there in meditation, and she is waiting till this day for the Lord to come back. That place today, as the Devi has come into the world, is the place that we call the Vaishno Devi Mandir. It is in a cave on the top of the mountains, and she sits and she waits for this age of Kali Yuga for the Lord to come back. To those who've traveled to Vaishno Devi, it is a 16-hour walk to walk around this mountain till you reach up the top. Thank God nowadays, out of technology, they have cable cars. So from the bottom, you could get a cable car and go up to the top. They have donkeys that are walking. Some people, they don't want to just take a cable car. You know what? Out of sacrifice and tapasya, they want to probably walk it, or they want to sit on a horse or sit on one of the donkeys, and they will hold the jars or the kalash, the pitchers of milk, and they will burst a little hole, and they will walk up, or they will allow themselves to go up, knowing in their mind that they're going to spread milk throughout the entire path as an offering of jal until they reach up there. You went up there? A sacred place. You reach up at the top of the Parvat, and as soon as you start reaching the top, there are monkeys by the hundreds. There are monkeys everywhere. The tour guides and the people who are taking you will tell you, hold on to your glasses and hold on to your bags and hold on to everything that you have, because if you don't take care of it, some monkey will grab it and go with it. And when you reach there, you walk into a little cave and you bend down. You have to bend down like you're kneeling down, and you have to crawl through to go inside. And when you reach inside, 3 rocks are waiting there. The 3 rocks are Vaishno Devi Mata, Kali Mata, Mother Lakshmi, Saraswati Devi, and they are waiting to be worshipped. Till this day, the mother waits there. It is said in the age of Treta Yuga, the mother established her spot at Vaishno Devi Mandir. It is said the age of Dwapar Yuga passed, and the age of Dwapar Yuga, Bhagwan Shri Krishna came on the earth. He acknowledged the presence of Devi, but at the same time, the age of Dwapar Yuga had continued. In the age of Kali Yuga now, this age that is Kali Yuga, it is said 700 years ago in this age. We think it is now just 2025 or 2024, and the years are going by, and 2026 and so on, and everything will go. But from this point, 700 years ago, a little kahani came out. Devi's in the mountain, and you know what happened? There was one Pundit at the base of the mandir, at the base of the Parvat, the mountain. That Pundit will sit down, and there was a mandir that was created for Devi Durga. And every single day at the base of this mountain, this Pundit will do his devotion and he will do his prayer. While he will do his prayer, he will worship Jagadamba Mata. Om Dum Durgaya Namaha. Om Dum Durgaya Namaha. Om Dum Durgaya Namaha. Om Dum Durgaya Namaha. One day he sits to pray and he begs Mata, may I, you know something? May I pray to you every single day, and I'm waiting for you to bless me. But how come you haven't blessed me yet? Did I do something wrong? Did I do something wrong in life? Have I erred in some way? Have I made a mistake to you? Sometimes we too ask the same question. We sit down by the Murti, and because what we want is not coming as fast as we wanted, did I do something wrong, God? How come I'm not getting the blessings that I'm waiting for? How come the things that I'm asking for is not coming? Did I do something that was wrong? And at that point, he sits to beg, and he's praising the Divine Mother, and he's begging her to manifest. This is what happens. Jai Jai Ambe Bhavani Ma. Jai Jai Ambe Bhavani Ma. Jai Jai Durga Bhavani Ma. Jai Jai Durga Bhavani Ma. Jai Jai Ambe Bhavani Ma. Jai Jai Durga Bhavani. Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki. We join all together. जय जय अम्बे भवानी माँ, जय जय दुर्गा भवानी माँ, जय जय अम्बे भवानी माँ, जय जय दुर्गा भवानी। जय जय अम्बे भवानी माँ, जय जय दुर्गा भवानी माँ, जय जय अम्बे भवानी माँ, जय जय दुर्गा भवानी माँ, जय जय अम्बे भवानी माँ, जय जय दुर्गा भवानी माँ, जय जय अम्बे भवानी माँ, जय जय दुर्गा भवानी। हरि ओम दुम दुर्गाय नमः। Salutations to Amba Devi. जय जय अम्बे भवानी माँ, जय जय अम्बे भवानी माँ, जय जय अम्बे भवानी माँ, जय जय दुर्गा 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 भवानी माँ, जय जय अम्बे भवानी माँ, जय जय दुर्गा भवानी माँ, जय जय दुर्गा भवानी माँ। जगदम्बा देवी माता की जय। It is said this Pundit sits down in his little mandir and he's about to worship Devi Mata. Every single day he praises her name. Every day as duty. 700 years ago, he sits down at the base of this beautiful mountain and he decides now to worship Adi Shakti Durga Devi Mata. While he is glorifying Devi Mata, it is said because she lives on that parvat, she is called Trikuta Maya because she is high above in the mountains. She is given the name Trikuta because of the tree. In Sanskrit, that tree that represents the Trikuta, the three little mountains, the three little rocks that represent Kali Mata, Lakshmi Maya and Saraswati Devi. She is called Trimurti Maya also. It is said he sits down and he worships Devi Mata, and every day that goes by he will pray to her. When the time of Nauraatri comes, he will worship her for the 9 days. And there comes that 8th day that is very auspicious to do what? What is auspicious to do on the 8th day of the Nauraatri? The 8th day is very auspicious to worship the Kanya Kumaris, the little girls. Not everywhere nowadays you can find the 9 little girls. But it is very auspicious to worship these little girls because they all represent a name and a form of Devi Mata. According to the scriptures, it is said that while we worship her in her 9 forms, in the form of the 9 Devis, many of us, we know these 9 forms according to the now Durga. We know these forms as Chandraganta Maya, Brahmacharini, Kalaratri, Mahagauri, Siddhidatri, Kushmanda. We know these different forms of Devi. But according to Devi Bhagavatam, it is said, these 9 girls are represented by 9 powerful forms of Adi Shakti. And these forms, my friends, when you worship the little girls, they must have an age. Nowadays it's going to be hard. If you want to do the proper worship, it's going to be hard. So people do it what they can. And nothing is wrong with that. But according to the scripture, it is said one must get first a 2-year-old child, a 2-year-old girl. And that 2-year-old will represent Kumari Maya. That is what the 9 girls are about to represent. The one at the age of 2 will represent Kumari Maya. Kumari Maya will be the deity who will bring forth riches and wealth and long life, and whatever poverty you're going through in the world, she will eradicate the poverty. The 3-year-old child will represent who now? Who was 3 years old? Trimurti, Vaishno Devi. She came in the form of the 3-year-old, so she will then be represented as Trimurti Maya at the age of 3. So you have to get a 3-year-old child, and she must represent Trimurti Maya. That child, by worshipping her, will bring righteousness, wealth, and all desires into your life. You will then have a 4-year-old child, which will be the 3rd Devi that you're about to worship, and this Devi will represent Kalyani Mata, and she will bring knowledge, wisdom, learning, and riches into your life. You'll have a 5-year-old child that will represent Rohini Devi, and she will be the one who will cure sickness and illness and diseases in your path. You'll have a child that will be 6 years old, and she will represent Kalika Maya, and she will destroy your enemies, whatever enemies you have. You'll have a child that is 7 years old, and she will represent Chandika Maya, and she will grant you prosperity in everything that you set out to do. You'll have an 8-year-old child that must represent Shambhavi Mata. That Devi will then grant you victory in any battle that you have to fight. It is said a 9-year-old child will represent Adi Shakti, Devi Durga, and she will grant you happiness in this world and even in your afterlife. And you will have a 10-year-old child that will represent Subhadra Devi, who will fulfill your desires. And these are the 9 Devis that you will have to worship. The 9 Devis will be represented in this way, and when you glorify her, these are the names and the forms that you're praying to. So the child must start from 2-year-old to 10-year-old, and that's the 9 children that you have to worship. Like I say, nowadays people have to work with what they have. Nowadays you don't have the children according to the age. You try the best of your ability to do so. In this time of Nauraatri period, if you can feed a child from that age of 2 to 10, randomly in these 9 days, you know anybody have a child that is 4-year-old, 5-year-old, 2, 3, 4, 5 till 10, you do something nice for them. You treat them nice. It is said this Pundit, he will sit down, and in time of Nauraatri, he will get the 9 girls and he will worship all the 9 girls. He will worship them in such a way, and how do you worship them? You put them sit down and you wash their feet because they represent a Devi. And after you wash their feet, then you will offer them something to drink. You'll offer them something to eat, and we normally feed them kheer and sweet rice. And we give them something to drink, and we give them a little dakshina, a little money. And we give them now a crown, and we dress them up nice, and we give them a little shawl, and we cover their heads with a nice sari or urni, and we deck them nice, and we give them malas, and we spray them with the essence, the attar, and we offer agarbatti, and we wave it around them, and we respect them as a Devi because they are representing these 9 forms. But also bear in mind that these 9 girls must be living a proper life too, because they are about to represent a goddess, and the goddess must bless you. And their lifestyle and the way they live is the energy that they will create in order to bless you. So it is said these 9 girls, according to Devi Bhagavatam, they represent the kumaris, and the 9 kumaris must be living in a proper way. For example, nothing is wrong, and we are not saying anything unjust to any child. But for the child, according to the scripture, not me, to represent a Devi, the child must not have any form of physical problems in this world. For example, the child should not be blind. The child should not be a child that cannot hear, cannot speak. The child must be a proper child where there are no deformities and no disabilities, because a child is about to represent a goddess. It is said the child must be fasting properly in order to be represented as the Devi and be worshipped as the Devi. It is said the child must be one where along the 9 days, the child must sit down from day 1 for the yajna and intake the knowledge of the scriptures and live a nice pious life. The child should not become angry. The child should not be agitated. The child should have a nice composed mind and a pure nature. The child must be one who has a mentality of only godliness. And that is where we find the problem. Because today, to start with, you're not getting any children to fast. Secondly, no child 2, 3, 4 years old want to sit down to listen to the yajna. Today, nowadays, the children, they are different because it's hard to get them to come and to be a part of the functions and to represent what they must. But remember, each one will represent a Devi. And in order to be that Devi, you must be living in the life of that Devi for the 9 days. So that when you respect them and you worship them and you're about to take their blessing, that blessing will be imparted into your life. And you'll be lucky and blessed in the world. Today, as the 9 Devis are worshipped, this Pundit is worshipping the 9 Devis. And suddenly now he starts off with the 2-year-old. He washes her feet and he does the devotion to her. He reaches up to the 3-year-old now, and when he reaches up to the 3-year-old and he's about to wash the foot, he feels something like a spark, like a little shock. And he feels it and he pulls his hand for a second, and then he takes water and he continues again, and he feels an energy, but he continues to wash the feet. And when he continues at this point, he's about to put the chandan on the forehead of that little girl. And when he's about to place the chandan, as soon as he places his hand to put the chandan, it is like a bright light radiating from the face of this 3-year-old. He couldn't understand. He thought to himself, this child, whose child is this? And nobody claimed whose child it is. But you know what? We have the 9 of them lined up there. 700 years ago, this was testimony. And the child sat there. And he did proper worship, and he fed her, and he gave her the arati, and he gave her the mala, and he placed the urni, and he made sure everything was well. And upon finishing now, he's about to give the dakshina to all the girls. And when he gave the dakshina to the 2-year-old, he's about to go to the 3-year-old now. And as he gives the dakshina, he says, "Kaun ho tum? Who are you? Kahan se? Where have you come from?" And she pulled him close by, and she whispered in his ear. She says, "In the upcoming days, plan to feed as much people as you can. The mother will bless you." And she stepped back. And he listened to the words, and he was just looking at the radiating energy around her. But he continued his devotion to the rest of them. When he had completed devotion to the 9th child, after completion now, he decided now to turn around to go to bring the arati, so he will arati all of them. And this 3-year-old got up and she walked out. He stopped and he says, "Are, where are you going? Stop, come back." And she walked out the door of the mandir. And when she stepped outside and she was about to go, he ran out by the doorway to call her back. And when he looked, she was not there. It kept ringing in his mind again and again. You know what? I don't know who she was. Nobody seemed to know who she was. Nobody knew where she came from. But you know what? Even though nobody knows who she is, at this time, we will do what we must. She whispered something in my ear. And she said to me, "Prepare to feed many people in the upcoming days. And if this is what she wants, then I will do what she has asked for." It is on that day, he prepares himself now. And he says, "You know what? I'm going to organize my village. I'm going to organize my mandir. I'm going to bring people together. And we're going to feed." And he sat down and he thought about it. How much money I have? But wait a minute, I don't have enough money to feed people. She said, "Feed as much people as you can." I don't know. You know what? Let me start asking people. And he went from door to door, from house to house, and he started to ask people for alms. He started to ask people for money. He started to ask people for food so that he could prepare. And he was telling everybody, you know, one of the kanyas, they told me I have to feed everybody. So 1 week from now, I'm going to feed everybody. Can you help me with food? And everybody looked at him and he says, you know, at this point, you know, we gave enough for the mandir. We offered so much already for Nauraatri. We did our part. We can't, at this time, come back next time. Man. And he found himself in a situation. He reached up now to the guru of the village. And the guru of the village was called, there were 2 gurus running the ashram, Gauraknath and Bhairavnath. And these 2 were running the ashram. He walked up now as a Pundit, and he went into the ashram and he put his hands together and he says, "Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Guru Deva Maheshwara, Gurur Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha." And he saw the Guru, he saw Bhairavnath. And he says, "Hare Bhairavnath, pranams, I touch your divine feet. Bhairavnath, I'm inviting people to come to my home and to eat. 1 week from now, I'm inviting you as the Guru of the village. Please come." And Bhairavnath looked at him and he laughed and he said, "Wait a minute, you inviting me to eat? You have money? You could feed people?" And he looked and he says, "By then I think everything should be fine." And Bhairavnath, he called Gauraknath, and the 2 of them are standing. And they're looking at him now and they said, "Panditji, let me tell you something. Let me advise you this. Rather than we come to your home and you cannot feed us, you will gain bad karma. You will have problems. It says when the holy people come to our homes, when you're having a prayer, a puja, a yajna, when the holy people step into our homes, we want to make sure they eat, not so. And we feed them and we make sure they're happy and they're comfortable and they're contented. And when the holy ones, they leave your home happy and contented, they leave a blessing in your house. They leave a good blessing. We say a barakat, a nice energy. They leave that blessing in your house. But when the Pundits and the Swamis and the Sadhus come to your home and they leave uncomfortable, incomplete, at that point, it is said, they take away energy and blessings from your house. So the Guru Dinath, he says to him, today, I'll tell you, if you know from now you cannot feed us, don't invite us, because we will have to curse you. We'll have to shrap you. We'll have to put you into pits of hell. And you don't want to do it. And he stopped for a second, and the Panditji said to himself, you know what? That voice said to me, invite everybody, and that's what I will do. I am inviting you without any shame. I'm inviting both of you, and you come. And he went from home to home. He went for every part of the village and invited everybody. And he went back to his home now, and he sat down, and everybody's invited. And he says, you know what? I hope no problem come now. I hope no karma come now. And he sat down in his home, and he felt proud and confident that I'm about to invite everybody. And a few days from now, they will come to eat. So where will I get food from now? Okay, where's the 3-year-old? Where you gone now? You give me some word. Adi Shakti Devi Maya. He sat down at the feet of Durga Mata, and he started to pray. Om Dum Durgaya Namaha. Maya, give me the knowledge. Let me know what to do. And 1 day has passed, and 2 days have passed, and 3 days have passed, and 4 days have passed, and he's wondering, no food, nothing. He decided to take the little money that he had, and when he put it together, how much could this feed? But he went and he bought the little that he could buy, and he brought it back home, and he placed it at the feet of the mother, and he says, Maya, this is all I have. You bless me now. There are some people in life, you reach a position where you lose everything, and you have nothing to offer anymore but yourself. And even if you have nothing physically to offer, sit at the feet of the Murti and pray. Sit at the feet of the Murti and beg if you must, cry if you must. But the Lord will hear your cry and feel your heart. Lagan tumse laga baite, Lagan tumse laga baite, जो होगा बीत जाएगा, लगन तुमसे. And that day, as he sat down, he started to pray to Durga Mata. Listen. लगन तुमसे लगा बैठे, लगन तुमसे लगा बैठे, जो होगा बीत जाएगा, लगन तुमसे. कभी दुनिया से धरते थे, कभी दुनिया से धरते थे, छुप छुप यार करते थे, लो अब पर्दा उठा बैठे, लो अब पर्दा उठा बैठे, जो होगा बीत जाएगा, लगन तुमसे. कभी यहाँ कायता दुनिया हमें बदनाम कर देगी, शर्म अब बीच का बैठे, शर्म अब बीच का बैठे, जो होगा बीत जाएगा, लगन तुम लगन तुमसे लगा बैठे, लगन तुमसे लगा बैठे, जो होगा बीत जाएगा, लगन तुमसे। Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki. It is said, friends, that day the Panditji sat down by himself. The days are becoming closer. He has to feed everybody and nobody will help him. He sat down and he begged and he prayed and he prayed and he waited for the moment. And when he had completed his prayer, every day now, he realized that he didn't have any way in order for things to work out. He sat down and becoming depressed. Becoming depressed, where to get food from, where to get money from, I don't know. He's lost, he's confused now. And he waited at that point. And while he's waiting, he's trying to come up with some idea. It is said he stopped eating his own food out of depression. He stopped drinking anything at all. Sometimes out of a depression, we forget the whole world, we let loose every single thing. And we dive into our own depression, into our own world, and we forget how to live. Sometimes we lock out the closest people to us because we are going in a depression. Sometimes we push away the closest people to us because we don't know how to deal with an anxiety and the panic attacks. And that day, he stopped eating and he stopped drinking anything. He would lie down to sleep and his head would be filled with so much worries as to what to do. The days are almost there. Sometimes we take on worries too much, and I'll tell you, worries bring sickness. Worries bring cancer. Worries bring the worst of sickness that you can think about. It is better you let things slide sometimes than to take it on and to worry. There's a saying also that when it comes to that word worry, there's one person you can never tell to not worry, and that is a mother. That's true? No matter how much you tell a mother not to worry, that will go through one ear and come out the other. Because all they do is worry. All they do is stress. All they do is take that tension. And sometimes even then, with the amount of it, they don't know how to let it out, but they retaliate at us. Today, with all the depression, he has stopped eating, he has stopped drinking anything, and he can't even sleep properly. So you know what happens next? The morning has come, in which everybody has been invited. He sits by his murti and he doesn't know what to do. He peeks out the window and he sees people starting to come little by little. He invited everybody to eat. He sees in a distance now, he starts to hear the sound of a shank and the sound of a shell. And when he looked out the window, he saw Gauraknath and he saw Bhairavnath. And they are coming. And they are walking, and around them, they have many of their brahmanas, and they are ringing their bells and they are blowing their shank and they are coming down the road. And he says, today, I remember saying to them, don't worry, they will come to my home and they will have nothing to eat. I will be cursed and I will be shrapped. What to do now? And he looked at Devi Mata Murti and he says, Maya, Raksha Kuru Maya, please. It is you, it is somebody I know. It is you, Ma. You whispered to me, the day has come. And he got up now and he was about to go open the door to welcome them. And as soon as he opened the door, it is said in front of him was standing there, beautifully decked in a red sari. She only looks like 3-year-old. And at 3 years old, she's standing there and radiating with an energy. And she says, Panditji, today I've come to bless you. Didn't you wait on me? Why is it you stopped eating food? Why did you stop drinking? Have you no faith in the Divine Mother? When I whispered to you and I said to you that I will come and I will bless you. When I said to you to feed the world if you must, did you have faith that I will come? Well, today I have come. Have no worries. And she stepped into the home, and when she stepped there, she took kamandalus. She took about 10 kamandalus and she placed them on top of the table. And she opened them one by one. And she says, you bring your bowls and don't worry. People came and they started to sit outside. And when they started sitting, it is said, you ask them for anything that they want to eat, and you just come and tell me. And everything that they would have asked for, he would have entered the house, and when he said it to her, she will choose a bowl and she will take it out and she will fill his bowl with it. She will take from the kamandalu little by little, but she will fill his bowl and he will go outside and will start to feed everybody. And he turned at her form and he started to smile. Jagadamba Mata ki Jai! Ad Shakti Durga Mata ki Jai! She says, you ask them anything they want to eat, I will give it to you. Goraknath, Bhairavnath, they sat down and they saw food coming out of the home, and they're wondering, what is he doing? How did he get all this food? How did he get so much food to feed everybody? Something is wrong, something is up. And they started asking him now, we want to enter your home. When a Brahmana comes, they must go in your house. They want to see what is happening. Sometimes people are prying into your life to see what is going on in your life. Sometimes people are trying to understand what is taking place in your life, and sometimes you don't know how to stop them. Sometimes people will barge their way and force their way into your life. But be careful, because they sometimes may be coming to bring good, and sometimes they're coming to bring bad. So who to trust? Who to trust in your personal space and in your life? Be careful how you share your things with the world. Be careful, we are living in a society today, you don't know who to trust in your own house, because sometimes the same person you tell, come back to thief for your house. You must be careful. We're in a different day and a time and an age now. And as much as our scriptures will teach us to have a warm heart and an open mind, at the same time you have to be also particular and use the mind to think. Because the world is different and people are different nowadays. They wanted to go into the home to see what was taking place. So they asking Panditji, we want to enter your house. And he says, no, my house is small already. You ask whatever you want, you will get it. Just ask for what you want to eat. And they're saying, for what I want? Who is your cook inside there? I want to see your cook. And he walks in inside and he says, Pranams Devi. The Brahmanas are asking for the cook. What to tell them? I don't want to disappoint them, because if they become angry, they can shrap me. They can curse me as well. And she says, don't worry. Don't worry about it. Where are they? They're outside? Devi knows everything, but she wants to show the world that she's humble, and she will walk up to you if she has to. And she walks outside and she's holding one kamandalu in her hand, and she walks up to the Brahmanas and she starts to ask the questions. Have you asked for the cook? Well, I am the cook. And they look at her as a little 3-year-old. You're a cook? Well, you could cook. What do you want to eat? And they started calling out the names of the foods. And whatever they would ask for, she will dip her hand in the kamandalu and she will bring it out and she will put it on their leaf. And they will ask her something else and she will just wipe her hand and she will dip again and she will take out a different dish in the same kamandalu and she will put it right there. And they started wondering, who are you? What do you have inside there? Can I see that bowl of yours? Can I see that kamandalu of yours? And she says, you have come only to eat. Ask for what you want. So they want to test her now. Okay, we can ask for anything. Listen, we want some meat to eat. We're feeling to eat meat. And she looked at them with a smile and she says, don't you know? You've come to the home of a Brahmana. You've come to the home of a Pundit. You are wearing the sacred thread of a Pundit. And you're wearing the sacred marks of the holy man. How can you eat meat? You cannot eat meat as a holy man. You cannot partake of meat as a holy personality. You're the Brahmana. You're not meant to eat meat in the world as the holy Brahmana. And they look at her and they started demanding now. They're testing her patience. Are you ask us what you want, what we want to eat, and we're telling you what we want to eat. And if you don't give it to us, we'll curse this Brahmana's place. And she says, today, you want to curse his place? I will teach you how to be a true Brahmana. First, give up the ego that you have. First, give up the ego that you're growing with. Because you are nobody in this world if you have an ego. And she turned away and she walked away. And when she walked away, she decided to go back into the home now. And she says to the Brahmana, she says to the Pandit, all the dishes are here. Whatever you want, you dip your hand into it and you receive it. And she walked out of the place. She says, I will tend to everybody who's here. Don't worry, I will tend to them. And she leaves and she walks outside. And she's tending to everybody. But Goraknath and Bhairavnath, they're wondering, who is this personality? So they sat down for a second and they closed their eyes in a meditation. And in the meditation, they want to see who she really is. So they close their eyes and they're about to now try to visualize who this divine form is. And what do they see? They see a form like a bright light coming out of this child. They cannot figure out the form, but there's a bright light. And with the bright light, while they have opened their third eyes to see, the bright light turns around and starts to leave everybody now. And it leaves the little mandir and it leaves the home of the Pandit and it starts to climb up the Parvat. And while it's climbing up the Parvat, Bhairavnath says to his brother, he says, Hare Goraknath, you wait right here, don't worry, I will find out who she is. And he leaves to run after that personality and he's running after her to see who she is. In the meantime, The Pundit is feeding everybody and he's happy with what has happened. Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Durga Rupena Samstita Namastasya 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 Namo Namah. Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Lakshmi Rupena Samstita Namastasya 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 Namo. Devi Sarvabhuteshu Lajjarupena Samstita Namastasya 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 Namo. Hari Om Dum Durgaya Namaha. Sarvabhuteshu Shraddharupena Samstita Namastasya 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 Namo Namah. Kya baat? Sarvabhuteshu Dayarupena Samstita Namastasya 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 It is said, my dear friends, on this beautiful day, while the Pandit decides to take it upon himself to stay by himself, he feeds everybody that he has to. And as soon as he feeds everybody, they are going back to their homes. But they are happy, they are comfortable, they are contented. Nobody complains anymore because they've received what they came for. Everybody's leaving with a filled tummy. Everybody's leaving comfortable. And while they are happy with the grace and with the blessings of this Pandit, it is said now, Gauraknath and Bhairavnath, they're trying to find who this Devi is, but they won't be able to find her and to recognize who she is. It is said days will pass, and weeks will pass, and months will pass, and they won't be able to find her. In the meantime, while everybody has gone back in their way and in their direction, the time has come now where it is said, the Pandit sits down in his home and he says, Maya, you came in my home and you blessed me. You came in my home and you fed everybody. But today, I would like to realize and recognize who you really are. I wish I could see your personality and realize who you are. And when he sits there to pray and to ask, it is said he goes to sleep that night. And upon sleeping, he dreams this little girl comes to him. And when she comes in a dream, she holds him by the hand and she takes him out of the body. And with an out-of-body experience, it is said he leaves the world and he goes up into the skies. And while traveling in the air, he reaches the spot where he goes at the top of the Parvat. And he sees with his own eyes, he sees the Divine Mother who is sitting in her beautiful manifested form like this, like Durga Devi. And she's sitting at the top of the mountain. And she says, Panditji, today you asked for my grace and you asked for my blessings. And I'll let you know that I have come and I have blessed you. And now nobody will be able to stop you because you have received the darshan, the blessings of none other than Vaishno Devi Mata. He turned around and when he paid his pranams, for a moment he felt as though there was a shining bright light in his eyes. And as soon as he winked and he opened the eyes, it was now morning time and he woke up from a dream But he woke up to tell the world that this was no ordinary dream, but this was reality. The mother is real, and she sits as Trimurti at the top of Vaishno Devi, and she's waiting for her Lord to come. भूतेषु शक्तिरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो ॐ जय त्वं देवी चामुण्डे जबुदार्त्यहारिणी जय सर्वगते देवी कालरात्रि नमोस्तुते। आज शक्ति दुर्गा माता की, वैष्णो देवी माता की जय। It is said that day, my friends, it was a day where this Pundit had received the darshan and the blessings of Devi Maya. He woke up now, and when he woke up, he realized that this child was none other than Vaishno Devi. He knew that the Devi he was praying to every single day wasn't any ordinary Devi, but it was Vaishno Devi and Ad Shakti. Now the Katha continues now. What about the two Naths, the two Rishis, Goraknath and Bhairavnath? They have traveled to the Parvat to find who this child was. They're searching for her. And they have come a point now where they have reached half of the mountain. And halfway on the mountain, they have reached the mother. They are looking for her. But they can't see where she has gone because her form has disappeared. But you know what they see? They saw monkeys upon monkeys at that spot. And when they saw all these monkeys, they started asking one another, who has created this spot and brought all these monkeys? And you know what they saw? One monkey stood out amongst all. And he was holding a red flag in his hand. And while he was holding the red flag, tomorrow night we'll continue with what takes place with Goraknath and Bhairavnath, because their kahani begins there. Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki, Ad Shakti Durga Mata ki Jai. This is where we end our beautiful message tonight. Tonight, all those who sacrificed to be here for Yajna, to continue devotion, we are extending the blessings of Devi Mata in your life. And of course, there are many people. You tuned in tonight because you couldn't be here. May the blessings of our Lord protect you all and be safe as well. At this time, we're about to join in our Havan Puja. So we do invite everybody to take part as we say Swaha loudly after each offering. And we're about to make the offering of our ghee into the sacred fire. We offer Achman with the water first. Om Sri Agni Devtaya Namaha Gaur Parvatya Nama Mantra Pushpam Samarpayami Mantra Pushpam Pratigartam Sakala Devaya Namaha Mantra Pushpam Samarpayami Sarvatartha Samayuktam Sugandhim Nalvalam Jalam Achmanyam Edattam Grihanam Parameshwaram Achmanyam Samarpayami Agnidevtaya Namaha Om Shiramagnebhyo Namo Namaha. We offer ghee into the fire this time. Om Shri Agnidevtaya Namaha Swaha. Om Prajapataye Namaha Swaha. Om Indraya Namaha Swaha. Om Somaya Namaha Swaha. Om Varundevtaya Namaha Swaha. Om Kalashirvtaya Namaha Swaha. Om Sitarambhyam Namaha Swaha. Om Umamaheshwaraya Namaha Swaha. Om Gajagaurishwaraya Namaha Swaha. Om Prithvimataya Namaha Swaha. Om Govindaya Namaha Swaha. Om Rudraya Namaha Swaha. ओम कलविकर्णाय नमः स्वाहा। ओम बलप्रमथनाथाय नमः स्वाहा। ओम इंद्राय नमः स्वाहा। ओम सोमाय नमः स्वाहा। ओम सकलदेवाय नमः स्वाहा। ओम ईश्वरदेवताय नमः स्वाहा। ओम कुलदेवताय नमः स्वाहा। ओम यजुर्वेदाय नमः स्वाहा। ओम ऋग्वेदाय नमः स्वाहा। ओम सामवेदाय नमः स्वाहा। ओम अथर्ववेदाय नमः स्वाहा। ओम सच्चिपुरंदराय नमः स्वाहा। ओम सीताराम्यं नमः स्वाहा। ओम ईश्वरदेवताय नमः स्वाहा। ओम गोविंदाय नमः स्वाहा। ओम निधनपतये नमः स्वाहा। ओम गोपीनाथाय नमः स्वाहा। ओम रुद्राय नमः स्वाहा। ओम गोविंदाय नमः स्वाहा। ओम अच्युताय नमः स्वाहा। ओम सीतावल्लभाय नमः स्वाहा। ओम दामोदराय नमः स्वाहा। ओम नमः शिवाय स्वाहा। ओम रुद्राय नमः स्वाहा। We make 5 final shares. ओम भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात् स्वाहा। ओम भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात् स्वाहा। ओम भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात् स्वाहा। ओम त्र्यंबकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव वन्दनान् मृत्युर्मोक्षयमामृतात् स्वाहा। We stand for the final offering. ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम सर्वं वै पूर्णमं स्वाहा। You offer Achman 3 times. ओम सर्वतरतसमायुक्तं सुगन्धिं निर्मलं जलम् आचमन्यमेदत्तं गृहाणां स्वनन्तु मङ्गलम् आचमन्यं समर्पयामि। ओम इदम् अग्नयभ्यो नमो नमः। Take a flower, we find Agnidev in all directions. वर्णस्पतिरसोभूतगन्धादिगन्धुतमर्घ्य सर्वदेवानां धूपोऽयं प्रतिगर्तां धूपोऽयं समर्पयामि। इदम् अग्नयभ्यो नमो नमः। We all extend our arms as we take blessings of Agni. Mangalam Bhagavan Vishwurmangalam Garudatvaja Mangalam Pundrikaksha Mangalayatano Hani Agni Devata ki Jai. We are about to now join in our beautiful Arati to the Mother. सुनो मेरी देवी पर्वतवासिनी तेरा पारण पाया तेरा पारण पाया। अरे मंगल की सेवा सुनो मेरी देवा हाथ जोड़ तेरे द्वार तेरे सुनो मेरी देवी पर्वतवासिनी तेरा पारण पाया सुनो मेरी देवी पर्वतवासिनी। पान सुपारी ध्वजा नारियल पान सुपारी ध्वजा नारियल। पान सुपारी ध्वजा नारियल हे तेरे बेत चराया हे तेरे बेत चराया। मंगल की सेवा सुन मेरी देवा हाथ जोड़ तेरे द्वार तेरे सुन मेरी देवी पर्वतवासिनी। धूप दीप नय वेद आरती धूप दीप नय वेद आरती। धूप दीप नय वेद आरती मोहन भोग लगाया मोहन भोग लगाया। मंगल की सेवा सुनो मेरी देवा हाथ जोड़ देवी पर्वतवासी नंगे पग तेरे आगे आया नंगे पग तेरे आगे आया नंगे पग तेरे आगे आया सोने का छत्र चराया सोने का छत्र चराया मंगल की सेवा सुनो मेरी देवा हाथ जोड़ तेरे द्वार तेरे सुन मेरी देवी पर्वतवासी धानु भगतमय तिरुगुण गाये धानु भगतमय तिरुगुण गाये धानु भगतमय तिरुगुण गाये मनवांचित फल पाया मनवांचित फल पाया मंगल की सेवा सुन मेरी देवा हाथ जोड़ तेरे द्वार तेरे सुन मेरी देवी पर्वतवासिनी दुर्गाय नमः तुम 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 दुर्गाय नमः 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 जयंती मंगला काले भद्रकाली कपालिनी दुर्गा क्षमा शिवा दात्रे स्वाहा स्वधा नमोस्तुते ओम दुम दुर्गाय नमः ओम दुम दुर्गाय नमः ओम दुम दुर्गाय नमः त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देवदेव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देवदेव ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शांति हरि ओम। वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय, उमापति महादेव की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय, सत्य सनातन धर्म की जय। जय सीताराम। May the blessings of the divine Lord be with each and everyone as we have come to the end of a beautiful night of devotion and prayer, and we do look forward for tomorrow night. Jai Durga Ma.